the officer name, the police officer name is what I really wanted to remember. So I wanted to find the story, to read the story to you. But nevertheless, we will move on. I have seen that the TTPS put out on their web page that a child is missing. Let me just see if I find it here very quickly. Very, very quickly for you. And they put out some numbers where you can call if you have any information about this child. Right, so I find one of these stories. It says, this is from the Guardian newspaper. It says, 15-year-old girl missing. The Trinidad and Tobago Police Service is seeking the public assistance in locating a 15-year-old girl. It goes on to say, anyone with information on the whereabouts of this child can call 667-5217 or 999 or 555 or 911-800-TIPS or contact any police station or report via the TTPS app. This child, ladies and gentlemen, that the police service is asking for our assistance to find. I wanted to show you the dotishness, the lack of management. And it seems like Jacob have no managerial skills whatsoever. Because a couple weeks ago, one of the spokesmen for the TTPS came out and tell us that 148 children are missing since the beginning of this year. Listen me well. 148 children have been missing since the beginning of this 2022. But within the story, they are also saying that it's nothing to be alarmed of. We should not be alarmed that 148 children missing, no accountability since the beginning of this year. And the police service tell us that some of these children run away from their homes because of parental discipline, and some of them are probably participating in sexual grooming. But one child missing here today, and the TTPS is asking us for assistance to find this one. But they're not asking for assistance to find the 148 that missing since the beginning of this year. See if all could make that make sense. See if all could help me make that make sense. Nothing to be alarmed of. Nothing to be alarmed about. 148 missing. But a bulletin here. Call all these numbers. Let's see if we could find this one child that missing, this girl. But the 148 that gone missing since the beginning of the year, they said don't be alarmed about that. So which mean the TTPS may be very well know the whereabouts of these children, and they're not telling us, because if they are saying there is nothing to be alarmed about with 148, and now they're begging us to help us find one, then you help me make sense out of that nonsense that this police officer, an assistant commissioner of police, will stand up and talk this whole bucket of tutu to the public that 148 missing, but don't be alarmed about that. But let me find this one. So 148 is a smaller number than the one. That is what it have to be. It shows that the one is more valuable than the 148. Because if we have 148 missing, and they say don't worry about that, let me find this one, then something had to be wrong, ladies and gentlemen. This is the kind of dotishness. This is the kind of people that we have sitting in authority. This is the kind of people that we have wearing the badge of our ASP. Big stripes on top of that shoulder, but telling us, don't worry about 148. That's what they're telling us. That is probably why they didn't worry about the $143,800 investigation with Camille Robinson wages. Because it looked like they don't like 148 at all. 140 something is not a good number. So don't worry about the 148 that missing. Let us not worry about the $143,800 investigation with Camille Robinson wages since 2016. Don't worry about that neither. Don't worry about that. Let us not worry about the 400,000 that Rowley get off in Inez Gate when he say that he's a salesman, or he's the best bargaining man it have in town. Let us not worry about the 27 guns that was found by Rowley partner and Stuart Young and Faris Alwari partner laying. Let us not worry about all that. Let us not worry about the fake oil investigation where Gary Griffith said it was they just missing some expert to come to deal with the reservoir to conclude that investigation. Let we do study that. Let we do study Rowley and the president misbehave in public office. Let we do study Bliss Sipasad. Let we do study the Police Service Commission. Let us not study that. That's not important. Let us not study the car that is allegedly was not transfer between Kewal Singh and Faris Alwari. That is not a problem. But let me study David Lee car some 2 years ago where an investigation was done and completed and whatever. Let us study that. Let us not study, ladies and gentlemen, the pedophile ring with the PNM high-ranking officials that continue to abuse these children as we speak. And let me tell you something. We have a special interview would be taking place before this week done with what is still going on in the homes. We have witnesses. We will tell you about big men in children home with jockey shorts on. We will tell you that. We will also tell you that a certain church leader get fired. And we will also tell you why he was fired. And this is what the TTPS trying to mamagai and hoodwink all you and tell you about SAPGA report and try to squeeze in at the same time that they're looking after the Judith Jones report. While today, the children that is being abused is still there. And those who are alleged abusers, they are still in the homes walking with jockey shorts on. You hear what I'm telling you, Trinidad and Tobago? That is what this country is doing. That is what this country allowing to happen. That is why this government took that Judith Jones report and placed it on a shelf for over 8 months and ain't do nothing. And I want to question now. I want to question now. Since Rowley had to get a task force to investigate the report from Judith Jones, they must look into the report. I want to ask Rowley, if they had to get a task force to look into that report, then why you take Judith Jones and put she in the Police Service Commission? The same thing that you mash up. The same thing that you mash up. How Justice Judith Jones get there? Nobody lived there. Another idiot. Nobody live there. Nobody live there. That is a bunch of idiots. The next one, what are they doing here? They don't belong here. Here is not the place for earlier. A bunch of dotish miscreants that we have in government, carrying this country down to the bottom of the barrel, down to the dregs, and to the end of the day, a set of idiots want to stand up and support this bunch of dotish clowns that we have running this country. They want to support that. You ain't see no wonder. You ain't see no wonder. No wonder. Let me say that. Because they train them innocent to that. You understand? The innocent. But no wonder Rowley could treat all you as he want and how he please. Because Rowley and all know that all you have to be dotish to support he government. You feel Rowley know that? Rowley know that they be more dotish than the government to support them. When everything the government do is to destroy you. Every policy that this government put in place is to destroy you, the supporters of themselves. And yet, are they still standing up and support that? You ain't see that why all in this condition? You ain't see that why all living in this kind of condition? Because like all your eyes full with yampy. All you can't see. They say when dog have yampy in the eye, they see down the spirit. Well, I think all you better get some dog yampy and put all in all your eye to see the spirit and them that run in this country. Nobody live there. Nobody live there. You know what I'm telling you? Better all you get some dog yampy and put in all your eye. So all you could see the spirits, the evil spirits that run in this country. Why crime out of hand? Or they know why crime out of hand? Who is the crime boss? Ask Rowley who is the crime boss. Ask Rowley who is the leader of the biggest gang. And I go in and tell you tonight, Keith Christopher Rowley is the leader of one of the biggest gang in this country. And the name of that gang that Keith Rowley leads is the PNM. One of the biggest gangs in this country. One of the worst criminal gang it have in this country is the gangs of PNMs that run in this country. That is the gang. They are the one who is responsible for your life in this condition. They are the ones that continue to manipulate every system, putting the Cosa Nostra heads in place so that they could protect each other while they keep each other secret. You know what is the major secret of the Cosa Nostra? The major secret of the Cosa Nostra as we speak is to destroy you, the supporters' life. And yet, they are so good. They are so good doing it that you are being destroyed and cannot even see it. That is why she could say, nobody lives there. Nobody lives there. You know why? Because they already consider that section of citizens of that section of Tobago as nobody. You know why the PNM constituencies are in this condition? Because nobody lives there. Because they treat you like you not